You're watching NBC.
This is TV Nation, and I'm Michael Moore. Good evening. You know, we've been on the air now for a few weeks, and things have been going really well. The critics seem to like the show, and ratings are good.
My agent says the ratings could be better.
And why don't you do an OJ story, Mike? Because then the ratings will go through the roof. And I said, well, we can't do an OJ story. That's not us. You know, we're about integrity and substance. And besides, there's too many product placement, free commercial things connected to this OJ story.
Did he tell you what flight he was going?
American Airlines.
American Airlines 668 to Chicago.
Brown Gucci garment bag.
Say stiletto knife from Ross Cutler.
Well, I asked if I could go to McDonald's with him. Mezzaluna and Brentwood.
Chicago's O'Hare Plaza Hotel.
I know one was a Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce.
A Lincoln Town Car.
The black Saab.
Do you know, sir, whether the defendant owned a white Ford Bronco?
With a blood-stained Bronco in his driveway.
There were cellular phone calls made from the Bronco.
I mean, that's not what this show is about. We will not do product placement on this show, and we will not do an OJ story. I can guarantee you there will be no OJ on this show.
Hello, America. It's product placement night here on TV Nation.
It's TV Nation with Michael Moore. Tonight, Merrill Marco gets advice on where to go on vacation from some people who aren't going anywhere.
I have been employed in travel and tourism since March of '94.
How long have you got to go?
Well, I have a life sentence.
Louis Theroux visits President Clinton's real hometown, Hot Springs, Arkansas.
So what kind of activities would have been going on in Hot Springs when Clinton was growing up here?
It was a party town. It was where everybody came to drink and gamble and misbehave from all over the United States for 75 years.
For the first time on broadcast television, it's the TV Nation Healthcare Olympics with Bob Costas and Ahmad Rashad.
USA is #1.
It used to be that royalty in Britain was just for the few. But now their titles are for sale. Tonight, meet Lord Mike. And more of our shameless attempt to get higher ratings on Product Placement Night.
We're here at Walker Burgie Ford on Santa Monica Boulevard in Los Angeles, and I'm here with Jim and Kurt and Gordon. This is the dealership where OJ bought his white Ford Bronco. Guys, you know, when you were watching TV that night and suddenly you saw OJ and the white Ford Bronco going down the freeway, what'd you think?
Ford sales are going up.
And what happened?
They did.
By how much?
About 30%.
For the white Ford Bronco?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes, it is.
Any deals going on now with the Bronco?
Special deal. $2,000 rebate, LA County owners.
Walker Burgie Ford, ladies and gentlemen.
On the Ford Bronco. What do you call this?
The OJ Special.
The OJ Special, right here. I think you're going to have all of America coming here to buy these Broncos from you.
We have.
But do people come in and specifically ask for a white Ford Bronco?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, how much do you think it would cost to get Tom Brokaw to say white Ford Bronco 200 times during a 2-month period?
Too much money.
You don't have that kind of money. You couldn't afford publicity like this. When you were watching OJ in that Ford Bronco going down the freeway, was there a scary moment where you said to yourself, please, please, don't let that Bronco break down?
Wouldn't happen.
Never crossed that mind.
No.
Couldn't happen, could it?
Couldn't happen. Couldn't happen.
No. That's why OJ was using it.
That's right.
He's a man.
Huh?
That's right. All men drive these trucks.
Yeah, that's right.
Real men.
Real men.
So real men drive these trucks?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What else do real men do?
I'll let go answer that.
Do you think if OJ had been driving a Chevy Blazer, he could have gotten away?
No.
No way. No way, right?
He had his foot all the way down. He probably couldn't get over 45.
There you go. So why did he keep it at 40? Didn't you say to yourself, oh, this is a horrible commercial for us. He's in a police chase on national TV and he can't get it over 40?
He was out for a light cruise.
Yeah, he was on a cruise. That wasn't a chase.
You want to get speeding.
That wasn't a chase.
No.
But didn't you as a Ford salesman say to yourself, step on it, OJ? Didn't that thought cross your mind?
I thought he should have put it in four-wheel drive and head for the hills.
Yeah.
There you go.
Really, show America how this thing performs.
Absolutely.
95 million people watching.
We'd be glad to give you a demonstration.
Really? Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
This guy
We'll do it the right way.
Absolutely.
Huh? Hey, nice, huh? If you buy a Ford Bronco, you don't get the helicopters chasing with you as a bonus.
No. Power windows and locks, leather, premium sound system.
But Jim, a special OJ rebate, it's kind of a tragic story, though, don't you think?
Well, it's for LA County residents only.
When you put it that way, I feel a lot better about the crass commercialization of this. I'm really enjoying my stay here in LA, and it got me thinking about traveling around this great country of ours and the various tourism boards you can call in our 50 states. For instance, if you dial 1-800, I'll bet you have no idea who you'll be talking to on the other end. Watch this piece.
New Mexico Department of Tourism, this is Steve. Let me have your first name, please. Address, please. And may I ask how did you learn of our toll-free number?
Meet the experts. Guys who can tell you everything you want to know about how to plan your vacation in New Mexico, because these guys have had plenty of time to really study the facts.
I've been incarcerated about 21 months. I'm here doing time in New Mexico, and here I am promoting the state by, sending out vacation guides and getting visitors from all over the world to come visit New Mexico, and I'm behind bars, and it's like, it doesn't really mix, Excuse me. New Mexico Department of Tourism, this is Steve.
I basically transfer facts. They request information or they request specific literature, and I get their name and address and mail it to them.
Yeah. Now, do you think that they should be nervous at all giving their name and address to you?
Well, they don't know.
Where you are?
They don't know. All of them don't know. I don't know if any of them know. I'm sure some do, but the majority don't.
Does anyone ever ask you where you are?
Yes.
What do you say?
Los Lunas.
That's Los Lunas, as in the Los Lunas Correctional Center for Men, just outside Albuquerque. So you did a residential burglary, but now you're on the phone here, like asking people their names and addresses.
Yeah.
Don't you think they'd be nervous if they knew that they were given their...
Yeah, I guess, but, everybody makes mistakes.
Is it fair to ask you why you're here?
Well, if you want to know, I can tell you.
Yeah.
My offense is trafficking.
What'd you do for a living when you were outside?
I was a security officer.
Really? Yeah. What do you recommend for the best vacation in Mexico?
I myself, it's hard to say because all over the state it's a nice place to go.
How about this area? If we want to be taking an ideal weekend vacation, me and the crew here, where should we go?
From Albuquerque, you would take I-40 to take you to Acoma Pueblo, which is only 56 miles from Albuquerque, 12 miles off I-40. And that's one of the oldest habitats of the Indian Pueblos that actually still live the same way.
How long have you been here?
Inside the institution, 15 years.
Yeah. Continuous?
Yes.
I'm the manager for the telemarketing program here.
Right. Now, how do you select which inmates are appropriate for telemarketing?
I listen to the voice. What would it sound like to me if I was on the other end of the telephone and I had a voice? Could I understand them?
Where have I been that I have enjoyed?
Okay, you might want to call this number.
I'm 18 miles from Albuquerque, ma'am.
Well, I've been to the Gila Cliff Dwellings, ma'am, and it's a real nice place to see.
1-800-545.
There's no correlation between crime and ability to give out tourist information.
No, none whatsoever.
New Mexico isn't the only state to realize that inmates can be a tourist's best friend.
North Carolina's special kind of splendor beckons the nation.
And have you visited our state before?
Okay, we got one on I-77 that's in Charlotte. Let me give you this number, okay?
We're looking for extrovert type people that want to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess you'd call them people type people.
Mm-hmm. People.
Yeah, right.
Is it polite to ask you why you're here?
Well, I'm here for a murder that I did not commit.
Tracy Lambert is one of those people kind of people who helps 800 number callers from this maximum security prison for women in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I have been employed in travel and tourism since March of '94.
How long have you got to go?
Well, I have a life sentence.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Preferably, we look for women with longer sentences in that they're able to learn and contribute to the program instead of being assigned and being paroled or reassigned within 6 months.
Yes, I have 10 years for embezzlement, 8 counts of forgery and uttering, and financial credit card theft. I am a long-termer, and I do have some consecutive time, so therefore I probably will be here yet still some years.
So where does a prisoner behind bars get information about places to visit in North Carolina? From jailhouse seminars like these.
Good morning, ladies. I'm Shirley Tucker. That's Carol Millette. You're looking at the entire tourism department at the Greater Raleigh Convention and Visitors Bureau. The next slide shows the lake that's next to Sharon Harris Nuclear Power Plant. There's a nuclear power plant in New Hill. It's located on a beautiful lake bordered by walking trails and picnic areas.
So people can go swim in the lake at the nuclear power plant? Is there any danger from the nuclear power plant?
Not supposed to be. It's supposed to be very low level.
Visitors go there all the time, so.
Do they ever return?
And what month are you coming to North Carolina?
What of all the things you could recommend would be the most fun thing I should go do this afternoon in this area?
In Raleigh?
It's that much fun here, huh?
And sir, what's your reason for coming to visit North Carolina?
We try to treat them like state employees, not like inmates when they're in that room.
Right.
And they really appreciate that.
And oddly enough, a lot of state employees feel that they're in prison, so it's sort of as an equal kind of
I'm not going to talk about that.
You don't have to commit a crime and go to prison in order to work for the Department of Justice.
No.
You yourself have never done time.
No.
Are there any other telemarketing plans for the state? With I was thinking, what about an astrology number where the people in there could read, horoscopes?
Might be nice. Might be nice.
New Mexico Department of Tourism, Frank speaking.
Are people ever rude to you on them?
Yes, sometimes they are. Sometimes they talk too fast, and I tell them to slow down and answer the questions as I request them, please, as courteous as I can. And they're like, they get their little attitudes or whatever.
And did you say, listen, you don't know who you're talking to?
No, I don't go there. I try to maintain my composure,
Sometimes it's difficult because you may have someone that calls and, they'll give you a compliment and say, well, hey, when I get to North Carolina, how about I look you up and, maybe take you out to dinner.
One lady asked me if she could buy me coffee. I thought that was pretty cool. I told her maybe next time.
All or most of the inmates here have to work. I mean, that's just, we're in prison, but I love the job. It's like walking out of prison every day.
And now we bring you the official TV Nation poll. 204 Americans were surveyed by the firm of Widgery & Associates, a professional polling firm. 39% of Americans believe that guns are not as dangerous as they say.
Coming up, the first annual TV Nation Healthcare Olympics. Do one more. Welcome back to TV Nation. A show like this needs sponsors.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it's product placement night here on TV Nation.
Well, so what's up?
I'm going to name the place, and you name the president.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
Mount Vernon.
Washington. Washington.
George Washington?
Yes. Monticello.
Jefferson. Jefferson.
Jefferson?
Hot Springs. Hot Springs. Hot Springs.
Clinton.
Hope.
Oh, that's right. Hope, Arkansas.
The man from Hope, right?
I should have realized
Remember that?
That's
The man
right.
from Hope?
The man from Hope, that's right.
Well, actually, he grew up in Hot Springs.
That's right.
We sent our reporter, Louis Theroux, there to find out the story of the boy from Hot Springs. Take a look at this.
I was born in a little town called Hope, Arkansas. All I am, or ever will be, came from there.
Here? Where? I came to Hope in search of our president's roots in small-town America, seeking the source of a great man's values. Just being in Hope made me feel close to Bill. I met Hope's head of tourism, Paul Henley.
Is he the man from Hope?
He's the man from Hope.
In what way?
Well, he's put us on the map, and even though he wasn't here all that long, we like to be associated with him.
Wasn't here all that long. The man from Hope? Paul showed me the sights, Bill's birthplace.
Bill Clinton was born in the hospital that was on this site, but now it's a funeral home.
His childhood home.
Oh, those are original windows, they say.
Bill's actual windows.
We've been in the tourism business a long time, even before we knew about Bill Clinton. We have been known for big watermelons here.
Right. But since Bill Clinton became president, that's all changed,
That's
right?
kind of because he's a year-round figure, whereas the watermelon was just in the summer.
If you had a choice between Bill Clinton or watermelons.
Oh, you really put me on the spot there.
Yeah.
Watermelons are non-controversial. You know, everybody likes watermelons. We are not the hometown of Bill Clinton. We're the birthplace of Bill Clinton. Hope is where Bill Clinton was born, and Hot Springs is where Bill Clinton grew up.
Hot Springs, Arkansas, hometown of Bill Clinton. I wanted to see the town Bill grew up in. What kind of place is it? What values did it teach Bill? I started out with the official Bill Clinton self-guided tour, featuring Bill's high school, Bill's movie theater, Bill's ice cream parlor, or what was left of it.
Is that the one he sat on?
I'm sure he probably did.
That's Bill Clinton's stool.
I was especially excited to visit the house where Bill grew up.
Is this the Clinton home?
This is the Clinton home. Yeah.
Have you got...
Whatever do you want to know?
I don't know, I just thought you might have some stories or memorabilia or something. Is that dog...
I'm not about to let anybody in this house to come here and say, well, this is Bill Clinton's house. We want to see it.
Yeah.
I'm not about to do that. What for? Why should I?
I don't know, I get some historical interest.
Well, historical, yeah, but for whose benefit? I don't see what they see so special about 1011 Park Avenue. That's what this is. He lived here, yes.
Do you mind if we look around?
Where?
Your house.
Nobody goes in there. No. No way.
Thanks for talking to me.
I don't know you.
Come on.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is it. You see it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting much out of my self-guided tour. I decided to get off the beaten path to find out more about the real Bill Clinton.
Have you had many dealings with Bill?
No. I mean, he knows me when he sees me. Hi, Mark, how have you been?
Really? How does he know you?
From high school.
You went to school with him?
Graduated with him.
So you must know him pretty well.
Well, he seems to know me better than I remember him, you know.
So what kind of activities would have been going on in Hot Springs when Clinton was growing up here?
Wide open gambling, bookmaking, prostitution. All the officials were on the take. It was a party town. It was where everybody came to drink and gamble and misbehave from all over the United States for 75 years. I mean, the richest people in America all came here. All the gangsters came here. Frank Costello, Meyer Lansky, Albert Anastasia, Al Capone, Ralph Capone.
Gangsters? But Hot Springs seems like such a wholesome place. It's famous for its mineral water baths. I decided to check them out.
Whoa, for a second there I thought you'd forgotten the combination. What kind of treatments did people come for in the old days?
Oh, back years ago, they used to come down here mainly. It was a whole lot of them come down for venereal disease treatment.
So we're talking about syphilis, gonorrhea.
Syphilis, gonorrhea.
Hot Springs was quite a place. I was beginning to see why Bill called himself the man from Hope. At the museum, historian Dee Brown gave me his theory on how the place had affected Bill.
I think Bill does have a hard time making up his mind, and I think he picked it up growing up in Hot Springs. Hot Springs has always been an ambivalent town. Their view toward the gangster people was, well, these are bad guys, but they've got lots of money, so let's just let them come.
Managing to sort of embrace Christianity and maybe debauchery at the same time. Is debauchery too strong?
Well, I think that's too strong. I mean, the lure of the flesh might be a better phrase.
I bumped into Hot Springs' former mayor, who told me more or less the same thing.
We have always been a hot city full of hot people and hot fun and hot music and hot water.
Think it had a formative influence on Bill Clinton?
Oh, sure.
Bill Clinton's got a reputation for being a bit of a ladies' man.
Most of the men in Hot Springs are ladies' men.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can read between the lines.
Well, Hot Springs is a resort area, and I will bet if you look at any 20 couples in any room here in the Arlington Hotel, 10 of them will not be married to each other.
Another great Hot Springs attraction is the racetrack. I ran into someone who looked strangely familiar.
Do you think gambling is a good way to grow the economy?
Yes, I'm all for it. And hopefully one of these days we can bring in a gambling casino here somewhere at this beautiful track.
Really?
Yes. That's my opinion.
Seriously for a second, though. How long have you been doing this presidential look-alike stuff?
Oh, approximately about a year and a half.
How's the crowd here, do you think?
It's a great crowd.
What do you think of our look-alike here?
He's proven. Thank you.
Yeah.
There we go, my lucky number. My lucky number, we won. What's your name?
Cindy.
Did you win, Cindy?
Yes.
So did I. Congratulations.
Yeah.
After a day at the races, I went to visit the best-known local artist, Benini.
Welcome to Hot Springs.
Thanks very much.
The city of the arts. I think that the cosmopolitan side of Bill Clinton has a lot to do with his upbringing in this city. This is the ground that he walked. This is the air that he breathed.
Is it a lot like Hope, do you think?
It's opposite to hope. Hope is sort of like lost hope.
Benini showed me some of his paintings.
The last rose that I painted is now hanging in the White House.
So there is a Benini hanging in the White House
Correct.
as we speak.
So how do people in Hot Springs feel that they've been passed over in favor of Hope?
It was a political stratagem.
It's a fortunate name for him.
If you're going to be a politician, you want something to sound good. I'm a man from Hope. That sounds a whole lot better than saying, I'm a man from Hot Springs.
How far I am from that little town in Arkansas. And yet in many ways I know that all I am or ever will be came from there.
Everything that had to do with his formation as a human being took place here.
A place and a time when nobody locked their doors at night.
Hot Springs was the 6th most corrupt city in the United States of any size.
Everybody showed up for a parade on Main Street.
We were in the newspapers constantly for all that, gambling raids and all that.
And kids like me could dream of being part of something bigger than themselves. I still believe in the promise of America. And I still believe in a place called
Hot Springs.
Hot Springs.
Hot Springs.
Hope.
Coming up on TV Nation, Michael Moore goes to Britain and becomes a royal pain. And more of Product Placement Night on TV Nation.
I'd like what O.J. and Cato had.
And what did he do with his food?
He ate it.
I've always been a sucker for British royalty. All those kings and queens and all that pomp and circumstance. And frankly, I've been kind of disappointed with democracy lately. Nothing seems to get done. Maybe the British were onto something with their monarchies. After all, they've been doing this for a long time. So when I saw this ad in the Wall Street Journal, it seemed like a dream come true. Britain selling her best asset, the aristocracy. Think of it, I could buy a title and be a lord. After all, I could be as good a lord as anybody. I grabbed my checkbook and headed straight to London, where I met with a baron, Robert Smith, who actually sells real titles like Lord of the Manor or Viscount of wherever.
We could sell you one for about $8,000.
$8,000. That's not bad. He showed me a book of titles that were for sale. Now wait, I like this one here. Mm-hmm. The Lordship of Foles Hill,
Warwickshire.
In Warwickshire, near Coventry, right?
Yeah.
It says here Lady Godiva owned it.
She did.
1086. Now, did she actually ride through the streets naked?
Yes, she probably did, actually.
So, like, if I became Lord of Foles Hill...
You would not have to. In fact, there would probably be a law immediately passed to prevent you from riding through the streets naked.
Oh, well, that's good.
So, you think we'll do Foles Hill?
Yes, I think Foles Hill.
Sheila,
you take American Express?
We do.
Come on.
Visa, MasterCard,
I mean, I can buy my title, Lord title?
On American Express. You are now the Lord of the Manor.
Oh. Thank you very much. That's my first act. On your knees, buddy. How's that wave go again?
We've got some robes, so let's put it on you.
All right.
Now then.
Actually, I want you to try on my crown.
Okay.
There you go.
I think a lot more serviceable than mine.
There you go. You can have that for $7.
You can have that for 100,000.
My first stop as a new lord was the place where they housed them, the House of Lords.
I'm the ninth Earl of Shannon. I'm also Viscount Boyle, Baron Carlton, and Baron Castlemartyr.
Okay, so that's two barons, an earl and a viscount.
That's it.
Some days are you a baron, and then other days you feel like...
No, it doesn't.
If you wake up in the morning, you want to be a viscount that day.
Well, I suppose in theory one could.
This is my card. That's my slogan. No lord does it like this lord.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I like that. Yeah.
You can use it too if you want.
This card's good for one free drink, and I like that.
Well, that's the American part.
That's noblesse oblige. Except the only thing that I would say that's slightly different is that it should be your name, Mike, whatever it is, Lord of the Manor of Foles, and not Lord Mike.
Can't go Lord Mike?
No, you can't really, no. Moore is your other name.
Moore, yeah.
Oh, it should be Mike Moore, Lord of the Manor of Foles Hill.
Oh, that doesn't sound as cool. You know, they say a lord's home is his castle. So I went off to do a little house hunting. But unfortunately, this one was taken. It belonged to the Marquis of Hertford.
Michael Moore. No, it's not a castle. It's quite modern compared to most castles in England. It's just over 100 rooms. We manage.
Uh-huh. Just 100 rooms.
Just over.
Yeah.
The interior is entirely 18th century, which is my favorite period, I suppose possibly because it's what I grew up in.
In the 18th century?
Well, I wasn't actually born in the 18th century either.
This place put the upper in upper class. And thanks to American Express, I was part of it. I've been in like 70 rooms already in here. I haven't seen a single television.
Well, there's no reason you should, really, is there?
Do you have a TV in this whole damn place? Huh?
Yes, we do. We actually have two. We have one upstairs for the children and one downstairs for the cook.
At your peak here, how many butlers and servants did you have?
But I would guess around 20. To be quite honest, the whole system, why people like my family lived in such enormous comfort, was because they employed a large number of people working for very low wages.
Mm-hmm. That's how you do it?
It's how we used to do it.
Right. So when you step out here in the morning and you survey the manor, what are your first thoughts?
I think my first thought always is, isn't it beautiful and aren't I lucky?
Well, do you have any advice for me?
Just carry on.
Just carry on. Just be Mike.
Exactly.
Lord Mike.
With that, I was off to visit my subjects in Foles Hill. But once there, I realized there were no rolling meadows. In fact, it looked more like Flint, Michigan to me.
Lord Mike, Lord of this manor. Good. Okay. I'm your new Lord.
And you are my girl, and no one can hurt you. Oh no.
I'm the new Lord of the manor. And my motto is, no Lord does it like this Lord. Pretty good, huh?
Let's go for one free drink.
Yeah, and the card's good for one free drink, too, at any pub in my manor here. See, now, when I bought this, I thought, my manor would be like rolling meadows and sheep and streams and rivers, and fortunately, it's this.
Where's your fortress, then?
I don't have a fortress. There's no castle here. There's no maidens. What do you guys do here in Foles Hill?
Well, I'm just currently unemployed.
You're unemployed, yeah?
There's just no jobs about for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
the car factories are gone.
That's it, Now,
what do you think of this whole little system of lords here in England? I mean...
It's all right, really, but they're getting paid for just doing nothing. They just sit on the backside all day, to tell you the truth. But,
I won't do that.
No, but...
I promise.
This looked like the perfect place to meet my subjects.
Welcome, people of Foles Hill. I am your Lord, Lord Mike. Well, what should I do as my first act here as Lord of the Manor?
Get him to put some meat into his curry.
Yeah, get him to put some meat in his curry.
More meat. This was my chance.
Not enough meat. Nah. As the new Lord, is it possible to get to put some extra meat in the curry?
What do you want, chicken or meat?
Chicken or meat, whatever it is. More. I can get.
Your prerogative, yes.
More of it. Gary, yes. More meat in the curry.
I was going to like this Lord stuff. Already, I'd improved the lives of my subjects, and my calling card made a big impression, too.
Huh? Is it drink and free food?
No, it doesn't say free food, free drink. Don't get carried away here.
Oh well, who needs rolling hills and sheep and big paintings? My subjects were good people, and they seemed to like their new Lord, even if he isn't American. Even though I'd be leaving soon, I felt better just knowing I had a realm and a place of my own in British history.
15% of Americans wish Dennis Hopper would go back on drugs.
Stay tuned for the TV Nation Healthcare Olympics with Bob Costas and Ahmad Rashad. Welcome back to TV Nation. We're still out here in Los Angeles with a couple of healthy young Californians. Healthy?
Yeah. Healthy.
Take care of yourselves?
Yeah.
Workout and stuff.
You work out every day?
For the beach.
Yeah. Eat well? You have a good health care plan?
It's decent.
Yeah, how about you?
Working on it. Yeah.
You don't have a health care plan, do you?
Not
It's okay.
yet.
There's millions of Americans just like you. And so tonight, to illustrate the problem, we pit the United States against Canada and Cuba in the first TV Nation Healthcare Olympics. All right. Take a look.
The countries, the U.S., Canada, and Cuba. The healthcare systems, free enterprise, government paid, and socialist. The challenge, legs, ankles, and feet. Tonight, these teams of some of the best healthcare professionals in the world face off for another evening of grueling competition in the TV Nation Healthcare Olympics. In the U.S., watch the team in Florida face the obstacles of a private insurance-driven system in order to maintain America's position as a world leader in research and technology.
I think we do a great job in America. We're really at the cutting edge.
Then in Toronto, Ontario, will Canada continue to score big with the access and simplicity of universal coverage?
They can come without having to worry about paying for anything.
And in Havana, Cuba, Can this third world republic continue to remain competitive with the medical powers of the industrialized world in the face of severe economic strain?
The system a very good system.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Costas. Another exciting day as three countries were poised for the global challenge of today's lower limb competition. Now, joining me in our TV Nation coverage is my longtime colleague, Ahmad Rashad.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Now, you know, anytime two very strong government-based systems and one solid market-based system lock horns, excitement is always guaranteed, and today was no exception.
I'll say. What criteria were the judges primarily looking at?
Well, the ER performances were evaluated on the ADCs of healthcare: access, delivery, and cost.
All right, so let's track the action as it began here in the U.S., where security was tight and the sideline gang got things started with a cheer.
USA is #1.
The venue was Broward General in Florida, where the patient entered without any assistance and took a seat, ready and waiting for the first step.
Bob, what's interesting here is that long waits are typically more characteristic of Canada, with rationing of services due to limited resources. But as you can see, the patient at Sunnybrook Health Science Center in Ontario practically sailed through the check-in process.
And down in Cuba at Calixto General, the patient, as you see, arrived in an ambulance right away, a sign of a higher degree of difficulty in his injury.
That's exactly right, Bob. Also, if we get an instant replay here, you see that the patient came to the emergency room with a temporary cast and a set of x-rays already. That's because he had already been to see his family doctor, and we'll meet one of those doctors just a little bit later.
Back in the U.S., the patient went through triage, a way of prioritizing treatment according to severity. Whereas in Cuba, the patient was immediately surrounded by team activity. No triage necessary. After check-in, the patients in the bigger countries were exiled to a sort of waiting area limbo.
Not necessarily a bad place to be, Bob, because as you can see, some of the players even managed to provide care in the hallways.
Sure, but wasn't that ankle more vulnerable there than it would have been if he'd been waiting in a cubicle like the patient in the United States?
Vulnerable indeed, when an innocent bystander added insult to the injury.
I'm sorry.
Now, if we take another look, we see the unintentional punt right there. Ooh. Luckily, there was no additional damage done, but nevertheless, quite a tense moment there at Sunnybrook.
And it's a good thing he was headed for x-rays, just like his counterparts in Cuba and the U.S., where the x-ray machine signaled the end of the first half. So things are really heating up. Ahmad, how do you sum up the first half of action?
Well, Bob, we saw the United States really struggle when it came to access to medical care, but that's one area in which the Americans are always at a severe disadvantage because of the 39 million citizens here who are uninsured. Now, in terms of delivery, all three countries admitted their patients with relatively equal speed and efficiency.
Thankfully for Canada, waiting lists don't factor into the emergency competition. For other procedures, though, Canadians may find themselves waiting for months due to limited budgets. Now, America should be able to pick up some ground with its superior technology and equipment. Cuba, on the other hand, may be vulnerable in the second half because the 33-year embargo against this island nation, coupled now with the absence of Soviet sponsorship, has made certain medicines and basic supplies scarce.
But Cuba is sure to pick up a big advantage in the cost category with no charges to the patients at all. And Canada, well, they're also a strong contender in this category with just about everything covered.
How do you think the coaches felt about their team's first half performances?
It was very interesting. All three seemed pretty optimistic. Here's some of what they had to say.
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the coach, I'm one of them.
This doesn't cost nothing to the patient because the health is a right for our citizens.
When 30% of the provincial budget is spent on healthcare, you become a very easy and vulnerable target as governments try to get their deficits in line.
There are a number of teams, as you can imagine, an organization as large and complex as this, and we do try to work together collaboratively and provide the support.
And we neared the end of halftime with a fine view of the Cuban venue from the TV Nation blimp. Thanks for the shot, guys. Those fellas do work hard. Should be an interesting second half on it.
You bet, Bob.
Now back to the action. The radiologists and doctors took a closer look and found a hairline fracture in Canada, a bad sprain in the U.S., and a flat-out broken leg in Cuba.
We caught up with the team in Cuba after the bone-setting operation for a post-op locker room interview.
Como lo había dicho anteriormente, ¿no? Totalmente satisfecho.
I am totally satisfied with having succeeded once more in having fulfilled the task of resolving a problem with the human body.
But Team Cuba would not be complete without a look at one of their up-and-coming doctors on every block. Let's take a moment and meet Dr. Santos up close and personal.
My name is Adelaida Santos Madbet. I'm a doctor from Cuba. I work here in my clinic in Havana, Cuba. This is my room, the doctor's room, where I can see the patient. This is the nurse room. She has all the control of the patient. He is my nurse. The name is Lidia Alfonso. This is my examination room, where I can see the patient and the nurse, also for the injection. I like too much medicine. I'm a doctor forever.
In the final stretch, our clock showed that the industrialized nation patients had more wait time before their casts were put on, with total precast waiting time in Canada coming to 2 hours 15 minutes and 1 hour 15 in the United States. Meanwhile, Team Cuba made sure their young patient came out okay, keeping in mind that unlike the others, he did have a broken leg and therefore needed an operation to set the bone. But, as you can see, it was a big success for Calixto General.
The Canadian team relied heavily on the star performance of this doctor through the casting process, with the team members at the United States venue showing proficiency as well. Ultimately, all countries got their patients up and on their way.
Man, that was exhilarating action, almost like you're right there.
Tremendous footage.
Yeah, I definitely second that. Well, the scores came in, and as we anticipated, it all came down to the big C. Cost. In Cuba,
the patient doesn't pay nothing.
In Canada,
$15 for the crutches that he just received. That's it.
And in the U.S.
The patient will be charged $80 for an emergency room service visit. Foot X-ray, $137. Ace bandage, $44. X-ray of the ankle, $118. $16.90. Dye used in the X-ray process. Adult crutches, $46. Total charges for the service, $450.70.
Unfortunately, it may take a while for the United States to make its way through the insurance obstacle course, and who knows what could happen with reform, but always a solid performer, they came in third. Cuba had some really great moments and wins points for such a comprehensive medical system, but until they find a way out of economic isolation, it's going to be hard to sustain the quality of their system. Cuba placed second.
But it was our neighbor to the north who stood strong with over 20 years of universal access. They take the lower limb gold in '94. Yes, Team Canada, seen here waving the flag of victory as another night in the TV Nation Healthcare Olympics comes to a close. Now, a disclaimer. This competition applied to lower limb injuries only. Who knows the outcome if we were talking gallbladders, tonsillectomies, or liposuction. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bob Costas.
And I'm Ahmad Rashad. Good night.
And good health.
Last week on TV Nation, I met a lot of congressmen and gave out a lot of gifts. And hey, guess what? I actually got a bill introduced in Congress, House Joint Resolution 365.
Declaring August 16, 1994 as TV Nation Day.
But the bill is not a law yet, so we need your support. And what better way to celebrate tonight, the 20th anniversary of Richard Nixon's resignation, than calling your congressman and telling him or her to vote for the TV Nation Day bill. Do it for us, and we'll celebrate it next Tuesday on TV Nation.
What, I mean, you can't buy publicity like that.
Get an OJ cup going for McDonald's.
There you go. You know how many times the word McDonald's has been mentioned in the OJ story in newscasts for the last month?
They should start capitalizing on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't buy publicity like that.
Get an OJ cup going for McDonald's.
There you go. Yeah, like what OJ Cato had.
Oh, sir, we don't have that.
You don't have that?
No.
What'd they order?
Well, Cato said he had a Big Mac and a large fry, but he only touched 3 of the fries. The prosecutor failed to ask him, though, what did OJ order? What do you think he ordered?
Chicken McNuggets, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd like a McChicken, a McNugget, a McRib, and a McMuffin.
We don't have McMuffins right now.
No McMuffins right now? Do you think things would have been better off for him had he ordered the Happy Meal?
Yes.
Well, that's our show for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Our product placement night here on TV Nation. We'll be back again next week at the same time. And until then, stay pure and don't sell out. Good night.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week here on TV Nation.
We're here at Walker Berge Ford on Santa Monica Boulevard in Los Angeles, and I'm here with Jim and Kurt and Gordon. This is the dealership where OJ bought his white Ford Bronco. Guys, you know, when you were watching TV that night and suddenly you saw OJ and the white Ford Bronco going down the freeway, what'd you think?
Ford sales are going up.
And what happened?
They did.
By how much?
About 30%.
For the white Ford Bronco?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes, it is.
Any deals going on now with the Bronco?
Special deal.
$2,000 rebate, LA County owners.
Walker Berge Ford, ladies and gentlemen.
On the Ford Bronco. What do you call this?
The OJ Special.
The OJ Special, right here. I think you're going to have all of America coming here to buy these Broncos from you.
We have.
But do people come in and specifically ask for a white Ford Bronco?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now, how much do you think it would cost to get Tom Brokaw to say white Ford Bronco 200 times during a 2-month period?
Too much money.
You don't have that kind of money. You couldn't afford publicity like this. When you were watching OJ in that Ford Bronco going down the freeway, was there a scary moment where you said to yourself, please, please, don't let that Bronco break down?
Wouldn't happen.
Never crossed that mind.
No.
Couldn't happen, could it?
Couldn't happen.
Couldn't happen.
That's why OJ was using it.
That's right.
He's a man.
That's right.
All men drive these trucks.
Yeah, that's right.
Real men.
Real men.
So real men drive these trucks?
Yeah.
What else do real men do?
I'll let go answer that.
Do you think if OJ had been...
You're watching NBC.
This is TV Nation, and I'm Michael Moore. Good evening. You know, we've been on the air now for a few weeks, and things have been going really well. The critics seem to like the show, and ratings are good.
My agent says the ratings could be better.
And why don't you do an OJ story, Mike? Because then the ratings will go through the roof. And I said, well, we can't do an OJ story. That's not us. You know, we're about integrity and substance. And besides, there's too many product placement, free commercial things connected to this OJ story.
Did he tell you what flight he was going on?
American Airlines.
American Airlines 668 to Chicago.
Brown Gucci garment bag.
Say stiletto knife from Ross Cutler.
Well, I asked if I could go to McDonald's with him. Messaluna and Brentwood.
Chicago's O'Hare Plaza Hotel.
I know one was a Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce.
A Lincoln Town Car.
The black Saab.
Do you know, sir, whether the defendant owned a white Ford Bronco?
The blood-stained Bronco in his driveway.
There were cellular phone calls made from the Bronco.
I mean, that's not what this show is about. We will not do product placement on this show. And we will not do an OJ story. I can guarantee you there will be no OJ on this show.
Hello, America. It's product placement night here on TV Nation.
It's TV Nation with Michael Moore. Tonight, Merrill Marco gets advice on where to go on vacation from some people who aren't going anywhere.
I have been employed at Travel and Tourism since March of '94.
How long have you got to go?
Well, I have a life sentence.
Louis Theroux visits President Clinton's real hometown, Hot Springs, Arkansas.
So what kind of activities would have been going on in Hot Springs when Clinton was growing up here?
It was a party town. It was where everybody came to drink and gamble and misbehave from all over the United States for 75 years.
For the first time on broadcast television, it's the TV Nation Healthcare Olympics with Bob Costas and Ahmad Rashad.
USA is number one.
It used to be that royalty in Britain was just for the few. But now their titles are for sale. Tonight, meet Lord Mike. And more of our shameless attempt to get higher ratings on Product Placement Night.